Italy doesn't look like pancake butter. Amy agreed. Well, we should bother Mom sighed Daniel. What do we do now? Daniel and Amy use the butter to make pancakes. Daniel and Amy said,
Stir. Okay, stir something, yes, stir more. Okay, stir the butter. Okay. But you see, stir more. Okay, stir. What's that?
Definitely. Butter.
What is that word? Sorry. What's that about? Oh, stir.
Stir.
Okay.
Mix. Stir. Once. Coffee.
Okay.
Stir.
Okay. Stir. You see, stir the butter. Okay. Daniel and Amy
Stir the butter some more.
How to spell it?
STIR. Stir. Daniel and Amy asked their mother to make the pancakes. Daniel and Amy looked at the cookbook.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
Summit.
Okay.
Summit.
Yeah. Good job.
Ooh.
Definitely. Say it. Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. We make a prediction, right? Yes. Okay, watch this one.
Think about your favorite movie. Maybe it's an action-packed superhero film, a magical fantasy, or a funny cartoon. Whatever it is, chances are it has a few important story elements that make it entertaining. And guess what? Movies and stories have that in common. Every great movie and story has 5 main elements. First up is characters. These are the people, animals, or even imaginary creatures that the movie or story is about. They're the stars of the show. The story follows what happens to them. Next is setting. That's where and when and the movie or story takes place. Is it set in a castle, a city, outer space? Does it happen in the present day, long ago in the past, or maybe in the future. The setting helps us imagine the world the characters live in.
Living.
Then we have the plot.
The plot.
This includes all the events that happen, and most of the time, they're told in order. Another important element is the problem. This is something that goes wrong, or a challenge the characters must face. It could be a villain causing trouble, a friendship that needs fixing, or something that needs to be found. And finally, most movies and stories include a solution. This is where everything comes together and the problem gets solved. It usually helps wrap things up.
Solution.
Today, we're going to practice identifying these elements in a story. Let's get...
Okay. Characters. Setting. Plot. Okay, how things goes from beginning to end.
Plot.
Problem. Solution. How to solve that problem. Solution, solve that problem. Characters.
Setting. Plot.
Problem. That's a problem needs to be solved.
Problem. Solution.
Characters.
Setting.
Setting is when or where it happens.
Setting.
Plot. Plot, how things goes. Okay.
Setting.
Problem.
Solution. Characters.
Good.
Setting.
Plot. Problem.
Solution.
Reading. Let's read this story titled Help. Help! Hani and her cousin Assad were spending spring break at Assad's family cabin. They had started the morning by going for a canoe ride. After paddling out to one of the many islands on the lake, they had gotten out to eat a picnic lunch. But when they had returned to the canoe, it was gone. Now they were stranded, and Assad's family wouldn't be home until evening. Hani stood on the beach, waving her arms over her head. There were boats on the lake, but none were near enough to see her waving. She and Assad were in trouble. While Assad was off searching the island for anything that might help them, Hani checked the sunny sky again. It was still afternoon, so they had some time. She didn't want to be on the island after dark. Too many spooky trees. Assad came up behind her. "Any luck flagging down a boat?" he asked. Hani shook her head. "How about you? Find anything on the island?" Assad shrugged. "There's an old hut in the woods, but there's not much inside it other than an old chair and a broken mirror." A broken mirror? Hani suddenly remembered a wilderness book she had read. A man had used a small mirror to signal for help. Could she and Assad do the same? Minutes later, Hani had a piece of mirror in her hand. Holding it so the sun hit it, she aimed the reflected light toward a speedboat on the other side of the lake. She flashed it once, twice, 3 times. Would it work? She and Assad waited breathlessly. Then they saw the boat turn and speed directly toward them. Help was on the way. That was a great story. Now, let's review the story elements. Let's start with the characters. Who are the main characters in this story? I think it's Hani and Assad. The story is mostly focused on them. Right here, the story also mentions Assad's family, but they don't really take part in the action of the story, so they aren't main characters. So Hani and Assad are the main characters in this story. Now let's move on to the setting. When and where does this story take place? Well, this story doesn't really give us any specific clues that tell us what time period it takes place in. But check it out. It does tell us that it's afternoon. We also know where the story takes place. Look here. This tells us the story takes place on an island that's on a lake. So the setting of this story is one afternoon on a lake island. Next, let's talk about the problem. In a story, there are usually lots of problems that pop up along the way, like Hani and Assad's canoe being gone, and the boats not being able to see Hani waving. But here, we're looking for the main problem, the big problem that the whole story revolves around. So what do you think it is? Let's see. Well, think about it. The main problem, the big thing that needs to be solved, is that Hani and Assad need to find a way off the island. Okay, now that we figured that out, let's talk about the solution. How is the problem solved? How do Hani and Assad find a way off the island? Let's see. Well, here, Hani tries waving at passing boats, but none of them see her. Next, Assad finds a broken mirror. Then, Hani has the idea to use that mirror to signal a passing speedboat. And does that work? Yep, it does. The boat turns around and starts speeding towards them. Then it says, "Help was on the way." That means they'll be rescued from the island soon. Problem solved. So, the solution to the problem is that Hani finds a way to signal for help. All right, great job finding all those story elements. Now, let's review the events of the story's plot in order. First, Hani and Assad went for a canoe ride. Next, Hani and Assad became stranded on an island when they couldn't find their canoe. Then, Assad found a broken mirror. And finally, Hani used the mirror to signal for help. Awesome! Excellent work finding all those story elements. Keep an eye out for them in the next story you read, or even in the next movie you watch.
Okay, let's try some, okay?
Read the story.
Rescue.
Rescue.
Mission.
Rescue mission.
Okay, let's look at what's going on. Okay, Fatima. So many different. We just do some, okay. Fatima.
Fatima. Fatima.
Okay, Fatima. Fatima is a person's name. Fatima. Brushed. Pancho. Don't know what it is. Spanish. Fatima's, I think both.
The following pronunciation is brought